KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson and the Adahi Tanu program. Cars Plus, visit today during our spring sales event. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
Ahead on primetime, an investigation underway after nude images of a student at a local high school is messaged to others. Plus, a man openly selling marijuana during a public hearing on adult use of cannabis could be in trouble with the law. And the new administration meets with the youth being held at DYA. Details on new programs that would keep kids proactive. Biba mes tomorrow again in KUAM Hafade Guahusinik Delgado. Well, local authorities are investigating after a nude photo of a student circulated at a local high school. For the safety of the victim, we won't be naming the school, but police say this is not the first time they've received this sort of disturbing report. Students are sharing a nude photo of one of their classmates. Guam Department of Education confirms the incident was first reported at a local high school back on February 13th. School officials say they are working with Guam police to investigate and will discipline students and engage parents.
The decisions that you make online can really greatly affect you in the future.
Guam Police spokesperson Sergeant Paul Tapau admits juvenile investigators come across this disturbing issue often.
It is pretty much predominant within our middle and high school areas, and the alarming issue that we're facing is the fact that the kids are not aware of the law. And we work closely with DOE in bringing these presentations out to the schools so that they can't use the defense of ignorance. And I didn't know that this was against the law, but rest assured, our officers or the Guam Police Department works closely with the Department of Education and of course the office of the Attorney General in addressing this issue. Because of age that will permit in the language of the law, if you are considered that of an adult and you have actual evidence or you have anything of a material that depicts a minor engaging in a sexual act or any sign of nudity, you can actually be charged in a felony offense, and you can also be charged with child pornography.
He says a quick click and share of these images at school could turn out to be bad for the students involved.
You can get a whole heap of trouble, really it is. And we try not to only address the kids, but we also reach out to the parents. And I think the parents play an important part in responsible social media issues, or just being responsible in social media, understanding what is legal and what's not legal. We ask parents to get involved, understanding the fact that you're giving your child the most powerful tool known to man, which is smartphones, or the internet being controlled in the palm of your hands. Be aware of what they're looking at, be aware of what they're viewing.
No word if investigators are closer to finding the source of the nude photo of the student that was circulated, but authorities say if those images come across your messages or group chats, report it to police immediately. He admitted to police that he uses and sells methamphetamine. William Sean Elm is charged with possession of a Schedule II controlled substance with intent to deliver and drug possession. Court documents state a source tipped off police that he traded power tools for the drug ice. A search warrant was carried out at the suspect's home. Authorities found the power tools plus 6.5 grams of meth. Remember the public hearing last week to legalize recreational marijuana? It brought the crowds out to testify both for and against. Freshman Senator Clint Rigel is the sponsor of the Guam Cannabis Industry Act of 2019, but it was testimony from Howard Hemsing that caught the attention of most. Take a look.
Glad we need $50 back, glad we need $100 back. Ozzy Malago Mamon. Any buyers?
Hemsing holding what appeared to be bags of marijuana, allegedly offering to sell it right from inside the Guam Congress building. Now that caught the attention of the Guam Police Department's Chief of Police, Steve Ignacio. He has instructed his officers to investigate. Meanwhile, legislation aimed at attracting off-island investors for the local medical marijuana industry drew support at a public hearing today. Senator Rigel's bill shortens the residency requirement from 3 to 1 year to apply for a medicinal cannabis license. It also waives the requirement altogether for investors in a marijuana test lab. Advocates say high costs and uncertain returns have discouraged local investment. Medical marijuana patient Jonathan Savares, well, he supports the measure.
Medical cannabis patient here and a co-founder for. We would like to see it stay local, but at this point in time, it's been 4 years. 4 years that no local entity has stood up to make moves. ultimately what it came down to was we need to unite and say either somebody on Guam has to step up and do this, or we have to find somebody who will.
Medical marijuana was legalized in a referendum 4 years ago. A lack of regulations first stalled implementation. Now it's the absence of a mandatory test lab. Well, the congressional effort to prohibit LGBTQ discrimination is slated to be introduced this week. The Equalities Act's passage looks to be likely in a Democrat-controlled House of Representatives. But the question some members of Guam's LGBTQ community are asking, is Guam's delegate on board? Chris Barnett reports.
A WhatsApp message circulating this morning in the local LGBTQ community. The message asking why Guam delegate Mike Nicholas has yet to co-sponsor the 2019 Equality Act. The Equality Act, a measure that would amend the Civil Rights Act to prohibit discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity in employment, public education, federal funding, credit, and the jury system. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, the first openly gay lieutenant governor in the nation, says he's remaining optimistic.
I'm very hopeful that the delegate will be a co-sponsor. I understand that the member that's pushing it has gotten almost everybody in that caucus and a bunch of Republicans. So the legislation is very important for our people, but also for the service members that are stationed here.
Sources close to this issue telling KUAM News Equality Act main sponsor Democrat Congressman David Cicilline had made repeated efforts to reach out to San Nicolas's office to seek a co-sponsorship of the act. According to these sources, Guam was the lone territory not co-sponsoring this bill, and San Nicolas, one of just 3 Democrats not co-sponsoring the act. LGBTQ advocate Lacia Casil telling KUAM News the community was mobilizing to get answers from the delegate. Now, that was made a little more difficult by the fact San Nicolas has yet to open a Guam district office. Casil telling KUAM News efforts to reach out to our delegate have so far been unsuccessful.
I was a bit surprised, but he seems to not be responding to a lot of people on Guam right now. So I don't know if that's a part of his MO or what's happening, but I'm going to, resend a message to him today that this is important.
While local LGBTQ community members had braced for a public relations blitz today, transgender activist Scarlett Dixon tells KUAM News word is trickling down that San Nicolas may have caved under the pressure. While KUAM News hasn't received any official word from the delegate's office, in fact, the delegate's office hasn't responded to our last 6 emails. Casil says even if San Nicolas was dragging his feet on supporting the Equality Act, if he signs on to support it, it'll be a case of all's well that ends well.
I would be very, very happy, no questions asked. However, if this were to move forward without his name on it, that's a totally different thing.
Meanwhile, Lieutenant Governor Tenorio says he'll push to get a clear answer from San Nicolas, and he'll be meeting with issue stakeholders when he's in town, the nation's capital, in a couple weeks.
I'll be sending a letter to him asking him to co-sponsor, and when I make my trip to the National Lieutenant Governors Association at the end of the month, I'll be meeting with a lot of the organizations that advocate in this area. I'm one of their leaders, and I'll be pushing that on the Hill.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
A new Department of Youth Affairs facility, that's what the new administration is pushing for, after doing a walkthrough of the Manila facility today. Governor Lulian Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio met with DYA directors, staff, and clients. The governor was briefed on a variety of programs to help the youth stay out of trouble.
In making it a rehabilitation, reform, re-educational institution rather than focusing on the penalties and the penal part, but more so what are we doing to provide programs and resources for our kids here so that they can learn the norms of life and society and the good laws and playing it safe and so forth.
The numbers at DOA have dropped tremendously over the years. It has 21 clients being held as of today. Governor Leon Guerrero says the administration will look at securing federal funding to renovate and rebuild the 40-plus-year-old facility. Well, we first took you there a couple of weeks ago during our Starting Lineup Facebook Live morning show group chat with Chris Barnett. On Sunday, this dump in Dededo was cleared of trash thanks to the members of the 1st 294th Infantry Regiment of the Guam Army National Guard's Chamurai Battalion. The soldiers removed over 5,000 pounds of trash. They were joined by more than 20 students who received credit for service learning hours. And while that illegal dump was cleaned, another one sprouting up. Victor Brian Sangale posted these pictures on Facebook of people caught on camera illegally dumping behind his family's property. He tells KUAM the individuals who were in this white truck split when they were caught. KUAM News has confirmed that Guam EPA received a complaint this morning and sent investigators to the site. Meantime, we found the truck with matching plates parked outside this apartment complex in the Harmon area.
Hi, do you know who owns this truck?
What?
Oh, because this is the truck that they found that was illegally dumping yesterday. It's posted on Facebook, same license plate.
No, this one is my friend.
Your friend? Is your friend here?
No.
The individual we spoke with then walked inside the apartment and shut the door on us. Guam EPA spokesperson Nick Lee, meantime, says an active investigation is underway. We'll stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
A simple handshake. That's all Jake Calvo needed when he started his company. Today, 80 years later, we like to say thank you to all of you who have taken our hand in trust. Thank you to the dreamers. Thank you to the realists. Thank you to the family-oriented. Thank you to the entrepreneurial. Thank you to those climbing the corporate ladder. And to the ones starting a new life together. Thank you to the traditionalists and the edgy. To the young at heart and the old souls. Thank you to the daring, to the protective, to the practical. Thank you to the hopeful. To all of you from all of us, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
You can make each connection count with IT&E Prepaid. Talk, text, and share with the best price daily plans and rates. Stay in touch with loved ones, whether they're in Tumon, Garapan, San Jose, or even San Paulo, on the widest network in the Marianas. And reach out to friends and followers all over the world with the fastest, most reliable 4G LTE data. IT&E, explore your world.
Morning, 2 coffees and 4 orders of those new donut sticks.
You must really love these donut sticks.
I do, but they're not for me. They're for them.
Meet me in the middle. I'm losing my mind.
I will take a coffee, though.
Introducing new cinnamon sugar donut sticks from McCafe, made fresh every morning. It's a little sweet to go with your coffee.
I am Black Winner.
I'm a baller.
I'm a golfer.
I'm swimmer.
Hey, neighbor.
We are parents of an athlete.
I am a coach.
I'm a volunteer.
Let me win. Can I win?
Let me be brave in the attempt.
Make a difference in an athlete's life. Be a part of Special Olympics Guam.
Keep our dreams alive.
Get involved today.
MTO, professional janitorial services with a warm hospitality touch. MTO gives that gift year-round. Pressure wash roofs, pressure wash driveways, lawn service, home cleaning, carpet restoration, office cleaning, commercial window cleaning, floor care. When cleaning is in order, MTO has you covered. Call 647-6861 to inquire on how you can receive the maintenance you deserve.
MTO, celebrating 30 years with you, Guam.
Looking for a great deal on a new Chrysler Dodge
Dodge, Jeep, or Ram? Then get to Cars Plus in Mighty now for our spring sales event, like a new Jeep Compass Sport, $166 per paycheck, or a new Chrysler Pacifica LX, $220 per paycheck, or save $8,500 on a new Ram 1500. How about a new Jeep Wrangler Sport, only $274 per paycheck. Low 1.99% financing is available on approved credit. Save thousands during our spring sales event going on now at Cars Plus in Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Welcome back. Well, all condos and apartment buildings should be charged at the residential power rate and not the commercial rate. That's the purpose behind a new bill by Senator Tello Taidagui that went through a public hearing today. But the Guam Power Authority says it's not based on where people live, but how much the building impacts the system. Nestor Lecanto reports.
It seems pretty straightforward. Condos and apartments are residences and should be charged as such. But realtor Chris Felix says many are being billed as commercial.
I'm not asking anyone to change the rates. I'm just asking them to, if it's residential, bill them at residential rates. I don't think that violates any rules or regulations or bonds. All I'm saying is if it's a condominium where people are living, if it's an apartment building where people are living, it should be billed at residential rates. I think it's very simple.
But CCU Chairman Joey Dueña says it's not as simple as that. It doesn't matter so much that it's a residential type building. GPA has to take into account what it costs to deliver power to it.
The bottom line is all these different entities, all these different people are charged based on what it costs to provide service to that customer, whether it's this house or this really big house or this one complex with one master meter. And when you look at the end of the day, there is supposed to be fairness. Everybody gets treated equally.
GPA says if they change the rate without regard to how much it costs and they lose money, it would likely impact other customer rates. The issue has come up before, and the PUC's attorney Fred Harecki says the commission should be the one to resolve it.
And if somebody asked us to look at this rate, we would set up a docket, assign a docket number, as I said, have consultants review it, we would review it. And that's the way normally that rates are changed. GPA has certain costs that have to be met by rates. If you take away rates in one area, I heard there may be 600 people affected. So the question is, how does this affect GPA's rates?
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Now to that rather heated confirmation hearing for Airport Board nominee Dan Taidinko. KUAM showed you the emotional testimony Friday given between fired port workers and even the former Port GM, Senator Mary Torres. They expressed opposition to Taidinko, former Port Authority chair, to sit on the Guam International Airport Board. During the hearing, Senator Torres questioned his integrity and the ability to justly serve on a board.
I further call into question his integrity and ability to justly serve on a board as critical to our island as that of GIAA's. Madam Chair, I have nothing to lose or gain by Mr. Taidinko's confirmation. I simply believe that to sit here in silence would not only neglect my duties as a member of this committee, but would act as a great disservice to our people.
However, Governor Leon Guerrero today defended her nominee.
I nominated Dan Taidinko because I felt that he would be a good person into the airport authority. Dan is a very smart guy. He's been around, and I'm just going to let the whole process go through. The senators need to do their due diligence and make their decision.
Much of the pushback was that Taidinko led the port board. At the time, several port employees lost their jobs after they were found to have allegedly made illegal payments to a co-worker from her workman's comp claim. The case has been ongoing for several years in the Civil Service Commission, though no indictments have ever been handed down. Despite the controversy during that hearing, Taidinko told senators he looks forward to serving as a board member and ensuring the airport operates efficiently. It's been a smooth transition for Daniel Stone over the Guam Fire Department. Positive testimony given today in support of Stone to be the next GFD fire chief. His family and fellow firefighters came out to showcase to senators why he would be the best fit for the job. Acting Chief Stone says his interest in becoming a firefighter started at a young age and has grown throughout his career.
I asked myself what I felt I can bring to the department. I feel fortunate to have worked my way up the ranks from a firefighter in the Navy Federal Fire Department and applying to the Airport Authority after Naval Air Station Agana closed, where I spent just over 23 years rising to the rank of Assistant Fire Chief. I've learned from the ground up the spectrum of firefighter responsibilities from working in the field, from working in the trenches all the way up to managing a whole department.
He also spoke about his plans to better the fire department. Former Fire Chief Joyce Nicholas also testified in support of Chief Stone. It's no longer just climate change, it's a climate crisis, so says Emily Dewey Tuturaga, the Executive Director of the Pacific Islands Association of Non-Governmental Organizations. She's here for the 9th Micronesian Nonprofit Congress hosted by Pazuta, Guam's NGO umbrella. She says years of gas emissions and 6 storms.
Vanuatu, for an example, we have Tropical Cyclone Pam that hit Vanuatu and they lost 60% of the country GDP. Tropical Cyclone Winston hit Fiji. We lost 40% of our GDP. So when your infrastructure comes crumbling down, and when half of your population, if not 3/4, have nowhere to go, no homes, governments have not really prepared for this.
The annual conference brings together various nonprofit groups in Guam and from 24 islands in the Pacific to discuss ways to cooperate on community and grassroots issues. Sarah Thomas Nederdog of Pazuta.
So we not only have a local, regional, sub-regional, but we have a global voice in terms of what our people are needing and asking for, and what are the issues that we need to address, from human trafficking to domestic violence to drug and alcohol abuse to climate crisis.
The conference gets underway Wednesday at the Westin. Well, a sad day in the media industry. Founder and president of Sorensen Media Group, Rex Sorensen, has passed away. Sorensen was raised in California and has been living in Guam with his wife Mimi for almost 3 decades. He was a real estate investor developer in Hawaii before joining the media company in 1985. Sorensen Media Group operates radio and television stations in Guam and the CNMI. Rex is survived by his 3 children and wife. He was 73 years old. Our sincere condolences to his family. And we'll be right back.
Agent Alpha.
What's that? An Alpha Insurance customer needs a claim settled immediately? I'm on it.
Agent Alpha.
In the event of an accident, theft, or breakdown, each of our Alpha Insure agents are trained to go above and beyond.
This is my stop. There she is. Target acquired.
Agent Alpha.
Yes!
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's, offers fully covered loading and unloading area with individual pin-coded gate and door access. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Oh my God.
Becky, look at that crust.
At Pizza Hut, we're the ultimate cheesy crust, with 16 pockets overflowing with melted cheese.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. We start the show off tonight with an interview with NFL football player and Dallas Cowboys star linebacker Jalen Smith. Check it out.
Wonderful, man. The food is delicious. The view is incredible. We're standing here at the Two Lovers Point. It's incredible. So I'm happy to be here, and it's going to be a great time.
Let's talk about jersey swaps. Any players that come to mind after the game you guys switch jerseys with?
Yeah, that's the unique thing about being a national football player and being a part of the family that we have. You get a unique opportunity after each game to trade an authentic jersey, something that no one else will ever own and have. So it's a privilege, it's a right. It costs a lot of money. I've gotten some legendary jerseys: Odell Beckham, Bobby Wagner, Adrian Peterson. The list goes on and on. I've gotten a lot, but it's about showing respect. And if a guy comes up to you after a game, after you had a heck of a game, and they want to trade jerseys with you, it's a respect. So
any Hall of Famers or old school players that you've been able to sit down and chop it up with and pick their brains on the defensive side in your position at linebacker?
Yeah, I've gotten a chance to talk to Derek Brooks a lot. He's a guy who's been a mentor of mine, and a Hall of Fame first ballot linebacker, Super Bowl champion. So I've gotten a chance to learn a lot from him.
Upcoming 2019 season, any particular goals you set for yourself to follow up that 2018 year?
The sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. And the ultimate goal is the championship. But for me, it's just about being elite every single play.
IIAG Boys High School Basketball semifinals from the FD Phoenix Center. The JFK Islanders visiting the Father Duenas Friars. Brandon Soriano with the and one play for FD. Islanders player Jeremiah Kentucky had the hot hand in the first half, hitting the deep ball. Jeremiah was able to get the shot off from way outside before the buzzer went off, finishing the game with 15 points off 5 big shots from downtown. JFK had 2 of their starters foul out as the game stayed close in overtime. The Friars would hold on for the win 64-62 in OT. The St. Paul Warriors picked up the 52-44 win over the Ukuru Bulldogs in the other semifinal matchup, setting up the season finale. The consolation game will start at 5 p.m. between the Islanders and Bulldogs this Friday at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse. The championship game between the Friars and Warriors will tip off at 7 p.m. Big shout out to Rocky Martinez for successfully defending his megaton belt at Deep 88 in Japan against Ryo Sakai via first round TKO. Martinez already has another fight set up and will look to have a busy year in 2019. The champ improves his MMA record to 14-5.